Imagine walking into a room where someone is speaking fluent Turkish to a Turkish businessman, then switching to perfect Russian with a Russian tourist, followed by smooth Arabic with an Egyptian professor, and finally chatting in flawless Italian with an Italian chef. This is not a scene from a movie, but the everyday reality of polyglots, people who speak many languages fluently. But what makes these linguistic superhumans so special? What secrets do they know that the rest of us do not? The world of polyglots is fascinating and mysterious. These people seem to have magical abilities to learn languages that would take most of us years to master. Some polyglots speak 10, 20, or even 50 languages. But here is the surprising truth. Polyglots are not born with special language genes. They do not have superhuman brains. Instead, they have discovered specific methods and developed particular habits that make language learning much easier and faster. One of the most remarkable polyglots in the world is Johan Vandewalle, a Belgian linguist who teaches at Ghent University and specializes in Turkic languages. He first became interested in Turkish at the age of 13 during a family holiday to Turkey. In 1987, at the age of 26, he won the Polyglot of Flanders Babel Prize after demonstrating communicative competence in 19 languages. Today, Professor Vandewalle speaks more than 50 languages, making him one of the most accomplished polyglots alive. What makes Johan Vandewalle's story even more interesting is that he did not start as a language student. He initially studied civil engineering and architecture before deciding to focus on languages. This shows us that anyone can become a polyglot since you do not need to be born into a multilingual family or start learning languages as a baby. Professor Vandewalle's journey from engineering to linguistics proves that passion and the right methods are more important than natural talent. Johan Vandewalle expresses the uniqueness of Turkish with following words. I wish Chomsky had learned Turkish in his youth. I am sure that the modern linguistics would have been shaped according to Turkish, not English. This quote shows us something important about polyglots, since they do not just learn languages, but they fall in love with them. They see each language as a unique way of understanding the world, not just a tool for communication. So, what are the secrets that polyglots like Johan Vandewalle use to learn so many languages? After studying the methods of famous polyglots around the world, researchers have discovered several common strategies that these language masters use. The first secret is passion and curiosity. What sets a polyglot apart is not just the number of languages they speak, but their fervent passion for language and their strategic approach to learning. A polyglot dives into learning with a sense of exploration, smart planning, and an unyielding drive for real world practice. Polyglots do not learn languages because they have to, but they learn because they want to. They are genuinely curious about different cultures and ways of thinking. This passion keeps them motivated when learning gets difficult. The second secret is that they focus on communication, not perfection. Many language learners get stuck because they want to speak perfectly from the beginning. They worry about making mistakes and spend too much time studying grammar rules. Polyglots think differently. They know that making mistakes is normal and necessary. They start speaking from day one, even if their grammar is not perfect. Confidence is crucial to language learning. The best study tip is to be firmly convinced you are a linguistic genius. The third secret is that polyglots use chunking instead of individual words. The very best tip for learning any language is to learn it in chunks rather than words. Chunks are full expressions that native speakers use. Instead of learning the words how, are, and you separately, they learn the whole phrase, how are you, as one unit. This helps them sound more natural and learn faster. The fourth secret is consistency and routine. Consistency is crucial. Make the language a part of your daily routine and use every opportunity to practice. Polyglots do not study for 5 hours once a week. Instead, they practice a little bit every single day. They might listen to podcasts during their morning coffee, read news articles during lunch, or watch videos before bed. This daily contact with the language keeps it fresh in their minds. The fifth secret is that they create their own learning materials. They select and create their own materials while others can provide resources, but they also create their own. They craft their personalized materials and develop unique ways to learn languages that best fit their goals and learning systems. For example, They may create their own flashcards and language materials. They do not just use textbooks, but they create personalized learning experiences based on their interests and goals. The sixth secret is using memory techniques. Polyglots employ a series of memory techniques to remember massive amounts of vocabulary and language rules. Mnemonics are techniques to help jog your memory. They use special methods to remember new words and grammar rules. For example, they might create funny stories or visual images to help them remember vocabulary. The seventh secret is that they use authentic materials from the beginning. One of the best ways to learn languages is to immerse yourself in authentic content. As far as written authentic content is concerned, social media is a gold mine. Every social media post in your target language can be transformed into a bite sized lesson. Instead of only using textbooks, polyglots watch movies, read news, listen to music, and follow social media accounts in their target languages. The eighth secret is that they connect with native speakers and other learners. Ask questions, get to know people, and apply what you learn to your own language learning. You can do this when you join language communities and meet fellow language learners and native speakers. Polyglots know that language is about people, not just grammar rules. They actively seek opportunities to practice with native speakers and learn from other language learners. The ninth secret is adopting a positive mindset. Learning a language should not just be for the super smart, rich, young, or privileged. The advice for learning a language is simple. If you hold yourself to the high standards that some language learners try to achieve, you will never succeed. Instead, learn how to adopt a positive approach. Polyglots believe that anyone can learn languages, regardless of age, background, or natural ability. The 10th secret is understanding that there are no shortcuts, but there are better methods. Now you know some of the ways in which polyglots really learn languages. There are no tricks, no secrets, just a deep understanding of how to learn languages the right way. Polyglots do not have magic formulas, but they do understand how language learning works and use proven methods consistently. But perhaps the most important secret is this: everyone has already learned a language, so we all have the same inbuilt mechanisms to learn another one. The secret was that as a child, you had 20,000 hours of tutoring. As an adult, try 500 hours of dedicated study into your language learning, and only then can you judge if you are talented or not. This means that if you have already learned one language, which is your native language, you have the ability to learn others. The difference is that children get thousands of hours of practice, while adults often give up after just a few hours. The story of polyglots teaches us that extraordinary language abilities are not reserved for a special few. Anyone can develop these skills with the right approach, sufficient practice, and enough determination. The key is to stop making excuses and start applying the methods that polyglots have proven to work. If you want to become a polyglot yourself, start by choosing a language that genuinely interests you. Do not pick a language because it is useful or because someone told you to learn it. Pick a language because you are curious about the people who speak it and the culture behind it. Then, start speaking from day one, even if you only know a few words. Find native speakers to practice with, either in person or online. Make the language part of your daily routine by listening to music, watching videos, or reading simple texts every day. Remember, becoming a polyglot is not about being smarter than other people, but it is about being smarter about how you learn. It is about understanding that mistakes are normal, that consistency beats intensity, and that language learning should be enjoyable, not stressful. With these secrets in your toolbox, you too can join the fascinating world of polyglots and discover the joy of speaking multiple languages fluently. The secret of polyglots is not really a secret at all, but it is a combination of passion, smart methods, and lots of practice. The only question now is, which language will you start learning first?